Hello and welcome back, everybody, to EchPlays. I'm Esh. This is Oxygen Not Included, part 3 of the 4-play series, which we take a look at it in 4 parts of about 30-ish minutes each. As you can see, everybody's doing work. In between last episode and this episode, I've learned some lessons, streamed the game a bit, watched some videos, learned a little bit of some things you can accidentally end up doing to really sort of get yourself into some situations where it's hard to recover from. It is very easy to start like a loop of vomiting, for instance, or to make like an easy mistake like stop digging or stop queuing up dig sites and then realize later on that, oh my god, I don't have any dirt somehow. It's really weird. Like you have 1,000,000 dirt, and so you think, okay, I have 1,000,000 dirt, I don't need to really queue up any digging unless I'm gonna make like an area or something. And then all of a sudden you have no dirt to make like the disgusting dirt pudding or whatever the fuck they eat. It's something else. Welcome back though, everybody. I'm actually really excited to play this again because I really love this game. It's a fantastic game, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Let's get started. Let's get in and or down to business. So let's pause for a second and take a look at what the hell's going on, because fuck, I've started like 3 colonies since I played this since I recorded episode 2. I've started a bunch of colonies. So it looks like we first need to get our power situation under control, because everything is like, we have generating power, but we don't have this stuff hooked up. And maybe that's because we don't have copper. I don't really remember. But you know what? Actually, this is a lesson I've learned. These are largely pointless, because early on, while they're useful, so like pretty early on you can unlock the ceiling lamp. By the time you actually want to have light in places, the ceiling lamp is already going to be unlocked. So really, it's just a waste of energy. It's a waste of power generation to have these. So honestly, the best thing I think we can probably do is deconstruct. So let's go ahead and queue that up. That's one lesson I learned. It's just a pointless thing. Another lesson is, the good thing is we have the massage table, but we probably want to have eventually 2 of those. And then, do we have a loud sleeper? Is that why we put that bed over there? Probably. It's fine. So we have this as well. This is not necessary. I've learned that this is not necessary. You don't need to plumb this. But it's good that we kind of have it, because we can just dismantle this outhouse and replace it with the lavatory, which is just like a regular bathroom with like a flushy and stuff. God, we really wanted light everywhere, apparently. Jesus. We also want to dig this up. We want to go ahead and harvest all of this, because the meal rice that you get from them is infinitely better than the disgusting dirt mud bars that you fucking make. These things, mush bar. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff we need to do here. So first of all, I think what we need is to get a kitchen area planned out and a bedroom section going, which means I think what we'll do is we'll have rooms that fit 2 beds each, and we'll just mimic them all the way down and going downward like this. So for instance, we can plan out some tiles. We want them to be really, we could go 3 high and not worry about it, but honestly at this point, the problem is that this thing is so fucking big that if you go 3 high instead of 4 high, the rooms height, then it looks weird. You're gonna at least have one room that's taller than the rest, and it's gonna be hard to manage. So I think this furniture is like this big, so we want to have like, I'd like to have 2 places in between, so there'd be a bed here, then a 2 spot, then a bed, and then a spot, and then a doorway. Okay, so we'll get, it'll be like this, I think, and then we'll have like a little doorway. Is that right? Let's take another look. Furniture, cot, so it would be a bed here, space, bed, yeah. And then in between the beds we can put decor, such as honestly, unless you have a bunch of bristlebriar, which we don't, there's no point in even doing these flower vases because you don't get seeds for anything other than bristlebriar to put in the flower vase. So they just sit there. Now we do have this access to this, so really you got to make a decision early on. Do I have access to bristlebriar that I can easily get without going too far out of the way? And if so, then plant some plants around. But otherwise, just wait until you can get the blank canvas and the sculpting block unlocked, which is pretty early on down here at this one. Well, speaking of, let's make sure. Okay, we're doing farming tech right now, which is actually really good. We probably should have done that first because we need to get meal farms, the mealwood farms going if we can. Ugh, there's a lot to do, and that's what we're going to do. So the objective in this episode is to continue to, I guess it's to get our living situation in order, and sort of get some double rooms so that we can have beds in places. And unfortunately, we're going to have to make Blanche her own room, which is a little weird. But actually, what we could do is make Blanche's room also the massage room, which normally I wouldn't do because I like to have the massage table in with another massage table and a bunch of like decorations because it makes the decor score be high in that room, so that while they're in there getting massages, they also will not be inflicted like negatively by lacking decoration stuff. And the way the massage table works is you go into it and you find, so you go up here to stress and you say, okay, mole hands is the highest stress. No use doing it now, but mole hands is the highest. So we go in here, we select mole hands, and then you go into your priority button down here, which is also hotkey P, and you can set your priority higher for massage table if they need a massage, so that they'll go down there and they won't stress out. If they stress out, then they will either vomit or start breaking shit, neither of which you want to happen, because they'll usually break something that's really important, like an oxygen crater or some sort of power thing, like the battery or even the power generator, and you won't even realize what the hell's going on because there's so much shit happening at all times once you get up to like 8 people and higher. Oh god, there is a lot to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start digging out this room. We want to get this done ASAP, and in order to even get this going, we're going to have to dig ourselves a little tunnel over there as well. Eventually this is all going to be gone, it's just a future inevitability. But what we want to do is we want to look at around. Okay, we've got all 5s. Why is that set as a 4? There's no reason for that to be set as a 4. So what we're going to do is set our priority project to 6s. And I didn't, for some reason, dig this out. And the priority tab is your effing friend, honestly. Like, they're going to come in here and think, oh my god, there's a lot of numbers here, but really it's a fantastic way to keep track of what you, and manage your dudes, and tell them what to do, and make them do the good stuff first. So, hopefully, if we're lucky here, Blanche, Vinny, Mole Hands, and Pretty Hassan will be able to get shit happening. You know? Also, we want to always try to prioritize the harvesting as higher because... Okay, they seem to be doing it, actually. I don't know what... Oh, shit, look at this. We already got a new dude. Choose duplicate. Okay. So, it's easy to pick the one with the most green stuff, but really you gotta look at their level... look and try to figure out what sort of project you're doing or what sort of dudes you have already, and like, is there like a certain stat that we just are struggling in. Also, honestly, I don't like to pick people with 2 bad traits. It feels like it's just going to be too punishing. So while this guy's learning is really horrible, like just the fucking worst, I feel like I probably should pick him. But let's take a look at these guys. This guy can't dig and he falls asleep. This guy eats a lot of stuff and also falls asleep. Honestly, I don't want to have to deal with it. So Ralph is now going to be called Karate and is going to be printed. And even if you don't have a great dude selected early on, you want bodies because you want people to be doing stuff. So even if you go look in there and they're like all shitty, don't just reject them because you'll have to wait, I think. I'm not sure if this is a reduced wait if you reject them, but I don't want to risk it. God, it's good to be back in, what is this place fucking called? Stress Vomiters Anonymous? I mean, it's fitting, because this place is going to be covered in vomit, I would say immediately. I would imagine that it's going to happen soon, and often, as well. Also, you want to continuously get and queue up the algae, because you're going to run out of algae pretty quick. So you want to try to mine any that you can early on, because eventually it's just going to be it's already pretty scarce, honestly. But later on you can make a machine that will turn the slime into algae, which will help, which is this stuff. It's all over the place around these disgusting areas. It's bad for you, obviously, right off the bat. Like, you want to block it off because this air can leak through this slime. But later on, it's actually useful, so it's not all bad, you know? Look at what's going on. This is a fantastic... just look on and appreciate what's happening here. Also, never not make food. Never not have this food queued up. You're going to want to build 2 of these micro mushers. One to have always a mush bar queued up, and one to have the lice loaf queued up at high priority. Because say I have to do this. Fucking calm down. I don't know what that noise is, but it's loud. Say you queue up this continuously fabricate for both of these things, and say, like, okay, I feel like maybe I could lice loaf, I could queue up first, and then mush bar, and then later on you'll be definitely out of lice loaf stuff because there's only so many grubs you can get from these millwoods at a time. And you'll have to want to make mush bars to fill in. Well, even if there's no items for this, it won't switch over to the next thing in the list. So you need to make one for each, for sure. That's one of my big recommendations, is you want to have 2 of these micro mushers, one for the a slightly lower priority early on. Unless you're running low on food, then just put it at 9 and just get some food, because it's easy to just quickly run out of edibles and not even realize it. So yeah, always keep an eye on this right here for your caloric stuff. So we have 23,000, and I think they take out, what, 3,000 per dude per day? So sort of try to keep an eye on this. It's really easy to sort of get behind on food generation early on. So you want to try to keep this thing on, like, at least 6 if your baseline is 5s. And I like to keep it on 5s. I never want to go below 5s because it seems like they would rather stand around and literally do nothing than do anything below a 5. I don't know why. Maybe it's just not working right, or maybe I'm missing something, but it seems like if you put, like, okay, I'm going to set it all the low stuff at 1, and then 2, and then 3, so I have more, like, control over what they do and in what order. No. If I put anything at a 4, they will never do it, honestly. So we'll put this at a 6, and what we're going to do is, after we get done with this room here, I think what we'll do is, first we'll disable this thing. We don't need it. We'll build a little bedroom, and then we'll move the beds into it, and then we'll start working on a kitchen above this area up here. That way we can have room for our double mushers, and in the future we can also move our ration box there, and we need to be able to also have room for fridges, and I believe it's called it's like an advanced cooking table that lets you, like, fry the mush bars into better mush bars. Yeah, that's it. That's what we need to do. We also need to figure out okay, this is our water source. Early on, I feel like people want to move their water source into a central location, but honestly, I feel like it's a waste of time and resources until you actually are going really far out and having to get water from, like, crazy distances. Then have a tank that they pump into, but, like, honestly, if you have a tank, try to get, like, for instance, I'm probably going to have to dig a hole to get this water into this place. But this reservoir is totally effing fine. Okay, so the only big thing we're missing, and we can plan while they're sleeping, only big thing we're missing is a algae deoxidizer, which we can put in the spot where the... We could put it in a spot where the lamp once was. That'll work. And we'll go ahead and it's my problem. Like, you can set the priority that they're going to be immediately when you're about to play something. I always forget, and I always immediately have to go back and be like, okay, this is a 6. It's not the best, not the most efficient, but I am actually dumb, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Oh shit, she can't sleep in this room. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of an issue, but that's okay. Well, once we get a little bit, once we dig this out, we'll put some vents in so the air continuously can move around and go lower. They'll be okay. You'll be okay, baby girl. Wait a minute, why are you sleeping down there? Pretty Hassan. Oh, that's right, karate. Where is Pretty Hassan, though? Oh, he's just like... Oh, none of them can breathe. Fuck. Yeah, the air situation has gotten a little bit out of our control, but don't worry. This algae deoxidizer will fix this problem temporarily. Eventually, we got other things we need to do that will take carbon dioxide out. Okay, so what we need, bedrooms, kitchen, farm. Those are the rooms we need to prioritize digging out. And the beauty of all of this is that we're getting sandstone and ore and different things while we dig this stuff out. So we're just getting like 2 birds, 1 stone. We also need to sweep this bad boy up. And unfortunately, when you go in and you want to sweep, the only time you can actually prioritize it is if you set it on the tool itself before you do it. So like, I can go in and hit 6 and this will be a 6 sweep. But if I go in to prioritize it afterwards, I can't actually change that particular task. So just prioritize sweeping higher immediately, because otherwise you'll have to go back, cancel the entire order of sweeping, which also cancels everything else that might be also queued. Like maybe we're trying to take apart this bed and we also have sweeps. We'd have to cancel that, everything below it, unless we select them individually, which is annoying. Ugh, so annoying. Dig that room out, boys! Look at Karate go. He's just joined, but he's already a great part of the team. And that's a lesson to be learned, everybody. If your name is Karate, life is easy because you got a really cool name. Congratulations. Okay, so another thing we need is a battery. Because right now, we're living on the edge. And nothing's going to stop us from falling. So let's go ahead and get a battery over here, I guess. And what we'll do is, this is not efficiently placed or anything. We'll run this to the battery, and then we'll run everything from the battery. So we'll run like all the rest of the power through the roof or something, and then connect it like this. Theoretically, it'd be better if we had this way over here, the battery here. That way we could just run it straight, run it into the battery, then have all the other cords run from the battery. The reason we do that is because of reasons. Thank you. Just know it's true. Don't... Oh, shit. You know what else we need to do? We need to go into our storage compactors, go into organic, and turn off contaminated dirt on all of them. Because otherwise, they're going to put contaminated dirt that they find in these, and it will, in fact, infect the air around it. So what I like to do is, what I want to do is, anytime I want to build, like, I want to find where we're going to put shitty stuff, so, like, even, like, near this, where it's not going to affect the rest of the colony, and build another one of these storage compactors and set that to have slime and contaminated dirt, because they will both affect the oxygen and make it contaminated oxygen if you put them in. Whichever one you put them in will affect the air around it. Okay, so the good news is the oxygen situation should be coming to a solution. The bad news is until we get this dug out, it's still going to be an issue because it's just going to get trapped in this corner, which is unfortunate. We also want to put doors on these. And we want to start... Oh, yeah, we don't have those blocks yet. That's all right. So there's a block in here somewhere. It's in the gas piping. the gas permeable tile, which is basically just like a vent you can put in the wall or the floor that lets air flow through it. And so if we put that there, some of this air may flow down and then cycle out elsewhere. Another thing we can do is use a 6 to make a little hole here. They'll be able to jump over this, but it'll let air flow up and down. So we'll be able to get rid of some of this unfortunate carbon dioxide that's sort of building up in this room over here, because Blanche is such a fucking asshole. She produces so much carbon dioxide. It's insane. Okay, sweep, 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 sweep. 6 and sweeped. And no power. Oh, you know what the problem is here? You know what the problem is, guys? We have this set too low, unfortunately. So this is like a bottleneck. So if you don't have anybody generating the power, say the power is lower priority than this stuff, if there's no power, they won't like be able to do anything, obviously. And nobody's going to be like smart enough to fix this issue. So you have to put the power generation at least the same height until of course you have a more advanced power setup with batteries and automated power and stuff, because you can get 2 different generators, a coal generator and a hydrogen generator. Eventually and inevitably you will have a shit ton of hydrogen in your base, and nobody wants that. I mean, I personally don't want to be in a room filled with hydrogen, and I don't think you do either, because you will die. I'm fairly confident. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Here you go. Also, power is a key reason this algae deoxidizer will actually fucking work, so that's what you want, baby boys. Okay, what do we got selected? Okay, we need 2 points in this. Then we'll have the stuff to make a planter box, or 5 or 6 planter boxes, which will be a nice start for our farm. Boy, oh boy, you guys are fucking taking forever to do this. Fucking hell. Maybe I'm just used to having like 8 or 9 to 12 dudes. But this is taking a real long time. Maybe we don't have any good diggers. A really good digger is underrated, honestly. Like, he can do so much faster than anybody else. Like, this room would be done like fucking 10 minutes ago. All we need is one great digger. But for some reason, it's just not happening for us today, fellas. Okay, so medicine is low priority unless you're doing a lot of combat, which is not a big deal. Because most of the stuff, the only time you're going to get damaged early on is by fighting little monsters and stuff. All the other stuff, like suffocating, drowning, etc., you're just going to die. You're not going to take damage. You're going to be alive or dead. Those are the 2 options. Now, what's really good is we're going down. As you can see, this roof isn't being built, and that's because they can't reach it. We would have to dig out this entire row of 2 just to give them access to the roof there. So by building down, we're always able to build the roof and the floor and everything. They're always going to have access to it. They're always going to be able to finish everything. It's really nice. Actually, I'm curious. Yeah, this actually, and the reason that's good is because the tiles, having tiles as walls, adds decoration points so that the room is a higher decoration score, which, if you go up here to the plant thing, you can see either in red or green what's going on. I'm not sure why these ugly-ass plants gives them so much goodness, but honestly, at this point, unless you have a lot of dudes that are like decoration requirements, don't even worry about that much, honestly. Like, eventually you're gonna have the easy decorations of the paintings and the statues, which will reduce stress and reduce decoration problems, and that's infinitely better than pretty much everything else. Okay, so this thing gets rid of carbon dioxide. The problem being is I'm pretty sure it's bad in a great deal of ways. Like, we could technically put this inside this room over here to get rid of some of this carbon dioxide, but we'd immediately have to remove it because it basically removes decoration by 10, which isn't a huge deal, but honestly, it's going to stress them out. And if you can avoid that, that's great. So what I like to do is I like to put 1 or 2 of these into the room with the rest of the farms. So that's what we'll be doing. And in fact, I think what we'll do here is we'll just make this area here the farm, or I guess since we're going to dig a kitchen up here, we might as well put the farm over here. Problem being that it's going to be massive as hell, which may not be the best, actually. You know what? Because we've already started, I think what we can do here is just build the rest of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a ladder that goes up here all the way up to this as well, like all the way through this. And we'll move this. So let's deconstruct this bad boy. It's almost nighttime, so we can't afford to destroy any beds right now. Let's check our air quality. See, look at this. Blue everywhere except this little room. And I think that she'll be able to breathe in here just enough, at least, for the night of sleep. Because they will get a debuff if they wake up. This is a very information-heavy, less banter, more heavy info. It's a heavy inflow day. So, boys, get those winged things on your brain vaginas. Is that offensive? I'm sorry if it was. But, you know what I mean. We're talking about stuff to help you love boys. Thick boys, sexy boys, figure out things you need to do early on to make your colony, not suck big ones. So hopefully this is helping, even if it's less entertaining and from a banter standpoint. All right, so we can hit tab twice to sort of speed through this. While we wait, we can also look at our priority table, which is one of my favorite pastimes. Honestly, looking at these numbers really gets me real worked up. So that's what we're going to do here. Alright, we'll hit a tab again, turn it back to normal, because if you leave it on, it's fine. It's not hard to manage your colony at 3 speeds. But you will not notice that they're starving, and all of a sudden, you know, there'll be like 2 dead people, and you won't notice. So I really recommend 3 speeding it at night, unless you have some planning to do, and then going back to 1 speed during the daytimes, because you will inevitably forget like one thing, and then all of a sudden someone will die because they got trapped in a rock or something, because they do in fact get trapped inside of tiles right now. Maybe a bug. People will get into places that it's impossible to access somehow and just suffocate in the wall because you can't get to them in time because you're never meant to get to them. I don't know why, it just happens. Alright, so what we're going to do now, fellows and lady little boys, is we're going to prioritize a little bit more. Let's prioritize a little bit more, everybody. This is our new project. Let's prioritize a little bit more. So, usually if you just deconstruct something, they will prioritize that really high. And there's no way for you to change it, so that's good. It's one less thing you have to worry about. They'll generally come and do that really early on. You won't have to worry about it. Let's turn this to 6 and finish this ladder. So this gives them all fast access to their rooms, no matter what floor they are on, whenever it's beddy bye time. So even if this guy's up here and there's a guy down here, they can both go and travel the ladders to their respective rooms and not worry about it. We do want to get these beds moved really early on, though. So let's get them all deconstructed. And then let's move them all back in fast as well. So 1 bed in this, 2 beds in this. And honestly, it's fine that someone's going to be left out in the cold. It just is going to have to be the way it is. That's what they say. It's just going to have to be the way it is, everybody. Fucking Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi said that, I believe, in his blog. Alright. They're getting it all done. Let's go ahead and actually prioritize the beds higher than everything else. Except for like this stuff. Oh yes, research. Right. So we want all of these, honestly. Power regulation, less important than any of the other stuff, in my opinion. Because by the time you want advanced power, you're going to already probably be doing the combustion stuff. Or like the hydrogen generator and things like that. So what I'm going to do here is probably get this one because I really want these gas permeable tiles. In fact, that's like the most important thing early on in this little thing. Because you can't really use this too much, the gas pump too much, which is what everything else works with. Like, this stuff is all just tools to use with gas pumps. Until you're ready to use like hydrogen and stuff and move a bunch of like oxygen around, or like contaminated oxygen into areas where it can be decontaminated, this is largely unimportant in my experience until you can get the stuff that's in the second tier. So this isn't honestly super important, but like this permeable tile is huge just to keep things like from stacking in a corner like we're having over in the old lady's room. So this is, even if it's just one thing you're going to be using from there, do you really want old granny's farts to be storing in her bedroom over here? Probably not. You want them to flow through and flow free, baby boy. So let's get that researching. How's our food? It's still at 23,000, which the fact that it hasn't moved honestly means that it's really well set up, honestly. Like, we aren't going too high or too low. It means that people are doing it just enough to keep us even in a very relaxed place with food. And also, they probably are also have time throughout the day to go do other stuff, you know? They're not just sitting at the food creators doing that sort of thing. Alright, so I think that's the episode. We have our stuff planned out. To go over the plan for the finale here, for the fourth part of this 4-play series, is we're going to... I think what I'll do is I'll let them build the rooms out. And that way, on the 4th episode, we can actually do other stuff other than just build. So I'll plan out our farm and our kitchen, have them dig it all out, and then we'll come back for the 4th episode, and we'll have some other stuff to explore and look at and see if, you know, this is the game for you. If you guys enjoy the series, please hit the like button. If you guys think that I'm really bad at this game, please leave a comment and let me know, because I'm really happy in my life, and I need to feel bad about myself. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time. This is 4-play. Just to reiterate, this is a new series I'm doing. It's like a one-shot, except it's not. It's a 4-shot, where I do a 4-part series of about 30 minutes each episode, and we try to explore a bunch of a game and try to get to the bottom of whether it's bad or good or whatever. If you want to watch more of this, I'll be streaming it this week on twitch.tv/EchPlays. I'll see you guys there. I love you. Have a great day.